Hi, it's Saturday the 20th of April 2024. I'm continuing my walk to John O'Groats. At the moment I'm following the Cambrian Way through Wales up to Conwy on the north coast. I'm just leaving Crickhowell and I'm going to spend 4 days walking to, I think it's pronounced Llandovery. So I'll be spending 4 days walking across the highest points of the Brecon Beacons, which I'm quite looking forward to. Gorgeous morning this morning. I think the weather forecast for the next few days is just going to be cloudy, but it's going to be mainly dry, which will be quite nice. My first place of interest on this walk is the Chartist Cave, which is a couple of miles out of Crickhowell. I'm just heading down to a road which I'll be following for a mile or two. Really nice views again, overlooking Crickhowell and the route I took from Capel Fyn into the town. Just left the road, so there's a nice bit of heathland walking towards the Chartist Cave. So just to give the Chartist Cave a bit of context, I'm just going to quote from Wikipedia. So Chartism was a working class movement for political reform in the United Kingdom that erupted from 1838 to 1857. It took its name from the People's Charter of 1838 and was a national protest movement with particular strongholds of support in northern England, the East Midlands, Staffordshire Potteries, the Black Country and the South Wales Valleys. And I think there's a bit of information on a plaque just at the cave, because I think they used to hide weapons here. So during the summer of 1839, pikes and possibly other weapons were secretly made and stockpiled in these caves. They were subsequently carried by Tredegar Chartists on the Great March to seize Newport in November 1839. This became the greatest armed clash between government and British people in the 19th century and resulted in over 20 deaths and the last mass treason trial in British history. Let's have a quick look inside. So onwards with my little walk. I'm heading to a forest called Taff-Fechan Forest, or I'll be calling it a day for today. Wow, this is a fantastic valley. I think it's called the Cronin Valley. about another 3 or 4 miles, no, and then I'll be camping up for the night. This is the forest I may be camping in tonight. I've just got to go up to the high ridge just over on the right and then drop down to a road. And on the other side of the ridge there's another forest. So when I get to the top I'll just have a look and decide which is the best way to go. Getting a lovely view of the Talibont Reservoir just to the northeast. I'm hoping when I get to the top I'll be able to see the Penafan mountain where I'll be going tomorrow. Well, I can definitely see where I'll be going tomorrow. So that mountain ridge over in the distance, I think that's Penafan, just up there. So I'll be going up there tomorrow. I'm just looking at that forest over there. I might actually try that because I think there are some nice flat looking spots, and I know there's a lot of streams running through it. So I think I might have a little rest then, wander down there. That's looking northeast again. And this is the way I just came. So in the end, I decided to go over to the Tafakan forest to look for some of the, because it was a little bit bigger, but it's very slopey ground around here. I was starting to wonder if I could find anywhere, but luckily I found a little flat spot I can just squeeze my tent in. So I've managed to camp up for the night right by running water as well, so that's great. So now I'm just going to settle down and listen to the radio, and then tomorrow I'll be going up onto the Penafan mountain, which I'm quite looking forward to. So until tomorrow morning, good night. A bit of a steep climb to start the day. When I get to the top, I'm just going to have a look at my guidebook and see where I'll be going today. So my first place I'm going to, there's a mountain just up there, so I'm going to go up there, have a little break and admire the scenery again. Well, that was a bit of a steep climb coming up to here. There's a very nice path coming up here. They must spend a lot of money maintaining the area. Some really nice paths along here. I'm heading up to Fana Big, that's my next mountain. There's a bit of low cloud at the moment, so it's difficult to make out, but I'm hoping it will clear up this morning. Sun just starting to come up now. I think Fana Big, it's Welsh for peak of the spike. I'll have a look at my guidebook when I get there for the Welsh translation into English. Just approaching Llandovery Big. Unfortunately, a lot of low cloud has just rolled in. Very changeable weather up here, but I'm hoping it will clear up later this afternoon. Clouds starting to clear again, so I can make out where I'm heading. So I'm following this ridge up to Llandovery Big. Then after that there's a peak, I think it's called Crickhowell. And then after that one it's Penafan. And of course that'll be the high point of my walk through the Brecon Beacons. This is looking northwards, and from here I can see where I'll be heading for the next couple of hours. So I'm just going down hill again and then following the ridge up to Crickhowell, and then it's up to Penafan. I forgot the name of the mountain after Penafan, but I think I'm going up there afterwards. And this is looking to the south, where I've just come from. So just going to have a little sit down and then head up to the next peak. I'm glad I'm only doing about 13 miles walk today, because that climb up to the top of Crickhowell looks really steep. I'll have to time myself from the bottom here how long it takes to get to the top, but I've got a lot of time. And also the days are getting much longer now, because when I left Land's End I think the sunset was about 5 o'clock in the evening, but now it's gone 8 o'clock now when it's sunset, so much longer days to do the walks. Well, that's the steep bit out of the way, so now it's just this gradual climb along the ridge up to the top. Lucky with the weather again today. Time for a little sit down again, and then it's time to head up to Penafan. I think it took me about half an hour to get to the top of Cribben. I forgot exactly what time I started the hike up to the top, but I think for Pen y Fan it'll take more like an hour. But it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. I've got about another 7 or 8 miles, so I've got plenty of time, so I can just take my time going to the top. Phew, getting there. About another half hour, should be at the top. I think just over there, that's my last peak for the day. Then I'll be heading down to Storey Arms. This is looking back towards Cribben. That's down to the south. And this is looking towards the north. I've got to time how long it took me to get to the top of Pen y Fan. I think it was just over half an hour again, so not too bad. I think this is, I think it's Corndoo, the last peak. And then heading down to Storey Arms. That's looking back towards Pen y Fan. Just arrived at Storey Arms. There's just a couple of houses here, and there's a burger bar. Just had a sausage roll and a can of Coke. So now I'm just going to head back up into the hills, and then pretty soon I'll be looking for somewhere to camp for tonight. Just approaching a mountain called Fan Ned, and I found this really nice camping spot. So I found another stream and a nice flat spot next to it, and quite sheltered from any westerly winds tonight, and even got internet up here as well, so really nice camping spot. So tomorrow I'm hiking to a lake. I forgot the name of the lake. I'm hoping to camp there. Then the day after I'll be heading to Llandovery. I think it's going to be a bit wet tonight, but not too much. So until tomorrow morning, good night. Well, that was quite a nice quiet night last night. No wind or rain or anything. I've packed my bag quickly before the rain comes. I think it's going to be a bit of drizzle today. So I'm heading down into the valley. There's a Bronze Age standing stone. It's pronounced something like Men Llŷa. So I'm going to have a look at that. And if it's not raining too much, I'd like to go up to Fan Ned. It's a 663 metre mountain. So I might get some good views from there. Just arrived at the standing stone. There's an information sign here. So it's believed that it was erected about 4,000 years ago. And there's several plausible reasons why they erected the stone here. Another thing which historians are interested in, it's a different kind of stone than what is found in this region. So it may be that this stone was carried here by a glacier during the Ice Age. I've put my backpack next to the stone to give it an idea of how big it is. I looked online, it's about 3.7 metres high and about 2.8 metres wide. But I couldn't find how heavy it would have weighed, but it must be about 10 tonnes or at least. It would have been quite a feat putting this upright. This is the way I came this morning. I can still see the mountains I visited yesterday, just over in the distance. This is the way I'll be heading this afternoon. I think I've got 2 more high points to visit today. The next one is 725 metres. So hoping to get some nice views from up there. That's my next high point, just up there. Just arrived at the top. So just going to have a little sit down and look at the scenery. That's my last big climb of the day. I'm heading down into a valley. Then that big long ridge over in the distance, there's a 802 metre high peak. So I'll be going up to there, and then after that I'll be looking for a camping spot for the day. Slight change of route. I've just arrived at the Llandovery lake, and the route I've got to take up to the top of the mountain, I've got to take a zigzag route going up there, but it does look a little bit too steep. I think it's a bit too dangerously steep, so I've got quite a heavy rucksack and it's getting quite windy now, so I don't really fancy trying to go up there. So I'm just taking an alternate route. I'm just going to go around the lake, and I'm coming up to another lake, and probably around there I'll be looking for somewhere to camp. But I won't be going up to the 802 metre high mountain today, which is unfortunate, but I've seen a few mountains over the last couple of days, so I think I can give that one a miss. I'm heading towards a lake. I think it's pronounced the Llandovery Lake, and I'll probably be camping up quite close to there this afternoon. So I'm only about 12 miles from Llandovery now, I think, 12-13 miles, so don't need to go any further. Found a lovely little camping spot on the way to the lake. So it's very flat, and it's definitely out of the wind here, and there's a stream running by, so plenty of drinking water again tonight. And I'm about just over 13 miles from Llandovery now, so, and it's all downhill from here, so a very good place to call it a day. So going to settle down and get the stove on, and then tomorrow I'll be heading to Llandovery. So until tomorrow, good night. A bit of a foggy start to the day, but the forecast is clearing up this afternoon, which is nice. So today I'm just going to head over to the lake, and then it's basically all downhill to the town. I've just arrived at the lake. It's just started raining, so I'm just going to have a little break. There's a very handy rescue shelter here, which is very handy for if it is really stormy weather. So just gonna have a little break here, and then carry on when the weather clears up a bit. Just stopped raining, so going to continue my walk down to the town. This is the lake. I'm sure on a nice sunny day it looks very majestic and beautiful, but can't really see much of it today, unfortunately. Right, must carry on. Just approaching Llandovery. That big hill just on the other side, that's where I'll be heading up to when I leave the town on the next part of the walk. So when I leave the town, I'm spending 3 days walking to a little place called, I think it's Pontywydd, and then when I get there I'm going to temporarily stop because I'll be catching the bus to Aberystwyth, and then I'll be having a little break in Aberystwyth and then coming back on the bus to continue the walk. So I'm just going to head into the town now, and I'm going to have a look at the old ruined castle. Just arrived in the town's very colourful high street. Just going over to have a look at the old ruined castle. When I was in Newport, I mentioned about the siege by Owain Glyndwr of Newport Castle, I think in 1402. This plaque is dedicated to, I can't pronounce his name, Llywelyn. He was a comrade of Owain Glyndwr, and he refused to betray him to the English. And so he was publicly hung, drawn and quartered in the town. And there's a plaque in the market square where he was executed in 1401. Well, I'm going to head over to my hotel and then I'll upload this video this evening. Then I'll be setting off on the next stage of the Cambrian Way. So thank you very much again for watching my video, and I hope to upload my next video very soon. Bye.